morning. It's 14th of August and this is week 1 of the Valencia training block. It's going to be a 16-week training block. The reason I'm doing a 16-week training block instead of normally something like 14, 13 that I would normally do is because I've got some holidays planned. I'm going to Ibiza with my mum and my sister, and then we'll be clubbing, partying, staying at a place called Pikes. If you know where that is, then you'll know that probably not going to get much sleep or rest there. And then in the middle of October is my favourite event of the year, which is Amsterdam Dance Event. Then I've got friends visiting from the UK for 4 or 5 days. We've got lots of parties planned and there will not be much training getting done during that time. So then with 16 weeks, I've got some time to take it easy for a week or two if I need to, and hopefully that won't sidetrack my training too much. But it's now 8:20 and I said I would meet my friend at 8:45, so already running a little bit late. So let's get ready and I'll see you down at the track. Okay, 30 minutes later, we're back down the track, meeting my friend. It's quite busy at the track actually. Looks like there's a boulder group doing some training, so I'll have to see what kind of footage I can get. But the plan is to do 14 times 400 at around 10 kilometre pace, and then I'm going to do some maybe 4 or 5 200s off around 5k pace. It's week 1 of the training block. This wasn't actually part of the training that I had planned, but I'm going to do a tempo run tomorrow and I wanted to get some fatigue in the legs to see how that goes. How I normally plan my training is I start out doing a lot of easy running and sprint training or hill sprints early in the block, and then as I move through my block then it'll get more specific to marathon pace. So yeah, then 5k pace is probably more suitable for what I need right now, but this should be good to get some fatigue in the legs for the tempo run tomorrow. Wow, it was hot out there this morning. So, as I mentioned, I wasn't really sure whether we were going to be able to get on the track because there was loads of people there, and that turned out to be true. Tried to get on and they told us no, there was some kind of activities going on. So me and my friend had to find a section of road to do it on, which is fine, but it's not as good as the track. Luckily it was in the shade, but even then it's still like 23 degrees at 9 o'clock. I know there's hotter places in the world, but this is definitely hot for Amsterdam. So did 11 times 400 with 60 seconds rest, averaging around 3:08, and then I did 4 times 200 off 60 seconds rest at around 2:55 per kilometre. I mean, the paces don't really matter. It's more about the effort, and with not running on the track, it's just GPS. But all in all, I think it's quite a good session. I was working hard, which would be expected in this heat. So yeah, decent session, and then see how that affects me when I do tempo tomorrow. So I'm going to head back. So let's talk first about what's been going on since London. Well, actually, even before London, I was really struggling with my lungs since the start of the year, and I don't really know what's going on. I thought it was going to get better, but if anything, it's been getting worse. So now I've been referred to a lung specialist at the hospital. It's still possible for me to train, but I really don't know what's going on, and I don't know whether to keep on training through how I feel or whether I should be training less, and I just need some advice on that. So I have a meeting with the consultant in 2 weeks, and then I'll have a better idea of what to do. But in the meantime, I also didn't want to not get started with a Valencia training block. Admittedly, I'm taking it a little bit easier, so the kilometres are not quite as high, But let's give a quick review of the week and how I feel like the first week's gone. This week I got 149 kilometers done in total, including one interval session, one tempo session, and then I did the long run on Sunday of 31 kilometers, or just under 31 kilometers. I'm being pretty happy with the week so far. My feet and lower legs have been really sore basically the whole week, and also the week before when I did around 140 kilometers to get myself ready for starting this block, and it's been really painful. But before that, I maybe took around 5 or 6 weeks where I was doing very little training or just not really training to a set program. And I guess maybe this is just how I'm expecting to feel after taking a break. The reason I say that is that I don't normally take such a long break where I'm running so little. So I really haven't enjoyed the feeling of trying to get back into running. So let me give you a quick breakdown of the week briefly in terms of what running I did. Monday, I did a split, I think 10 and 12, so around 22 kilometers. And then Tuesday will have been something exactly the same. Wednesday, I also did a split ahead of doing the interval session on Thursday. And then Friday was a 20 kilometer tempo run. Now, I wanted to do that on tired legs, that's why I did the intervals, as briefly mentioned. The weather was so hot and it didn't really go that well. Paces were a lot slower, but I was just trying to run to effort. So early in a training block, it's not about hitting paces all the time, but again, in the heat, there's no way that you're going to run to the exact efforts. And Friday was just a day where it was just really hard. So I can't say I enjoyed that session, but I did get 20 kilometers of work done, and I feel like I was running to the right effort. And when it's really hot, then I just tend to use heart rate as an indication. So I'll maybe say, like, don't go over 155 BPM for myself. And then I use that. And then if that means that I have to really slow down because heart rate's high, then that's just how it is. But overall, I was happy with the session. It's just the times were slow. The effort was definitely there. So then there was Saturday. Let's have a look. So then there was Saturday. Let's take a look. Good morning. It's 10 to 9 and I just got back in from a 12-kilometer easy run. I normally do an easy run on a Saturday morning because at 10 o'clock I have a run group called Nord Run Gang that's here in Amsterdam. So I prefer to get most of my training done before I do that. The only thing is that I always have to go without having breakfast, and I really struggle doing easy runs without breakfast. Don't know how you find it, but yeah, now I'm going to quickly get some breakfast because I've only got just over an hour before I need to be there. So I'll see you there. Just walking to the run group now. Luckily I'm on time, so I'm not running for once. And it's at a place called Subcult, which is a 5-minute walk away. It's a cafe/bar in Amsterdam Nord, close to where I live, so that's convenient. So yeah, let's go. Sunday, last day of the week, and the most important one, the long run for any marathon block. Yeah, this is the one where you're going to get your confidence and just be prepared for running a marathon, basically. And the plan was to do 32 kilometers with 30 kilometers at 86% of marathon pace, which works out at 3:57. I ended up doing just under 31 kilometers, but I did 29 kilometers at around 3:54, 3:55, and it felt good considering the last 6 weeks I've not really been training and I don't particularly feel fit. And then I don't really know what's going on in my lungs, which are really impacting running. It felt quite good. I'm comparing this to doing something similar in January, which was the start of the London Marathon block, and I think this one was a bit faster and it's definitely a lot warmer. So all in all, I was pretty happy with the week as well. I was also happy. I got a few gym sessions in as well, which I think is important, particularly early in the block, trying to build some strength, some how do you say it? Yeah, build some injury resistance. I would say it's important, and just in general, getting the body used to running high kilometers and really having tired legs nearly all the time. So all in all, pretty happy with the week. Got the planned kilometers in, or I finished on 149, I had 150 plans, so it's close enough. I got a couple of gym sessions in, definitely feeling stronger, feeling fitter, which I definitely wasn't at the start of the week. Looking ahead to next week, still part of base building week. So for me, then base building is working the extremes or as far away from race specific pace as possible. And that will be doing a lot of kilometers. So hopefully 155 kilometers next week and plenty of hill sprints and more tempo effort, which is below marathon effort. That's the aims, or the key goals for next week, as well as getting in the gym. Thanks for listening and see you next time.